Recently, I've been playing Risk of Rain 2. It's great, really good fun, better with friends, scratches the roguelike itch and all that. But through playing, I've noticed something. The items are not made equally. I mean, that's not a shock, items aren't usually designed to all be the same strength in any game, let alone in roguelikes, but the gap seems to be especially prominent in Risk of Rain. Items easily range from absolutely detrimental to completely useless to insanely overpowered, and then have the balls to tell you what rarity they deserve to be. So that's why this week we're looking at every Risk of Rain 2 item and ranking them from worst to best. Let's go! But we need to get a couple things out of the way first. Firstly, it should be noted that items are not ranked at their strongest level alone. Their versatility, strength, ease of use, stackability, complementary items, use on different survivors, and frankly just how much I like them are all being considered. For example, Berserker's Pauldron is an item with a pretty decent effect, but a very restrictive activation requirement. If you can regularly activate Berserker's Pauldron, chances are you don't need the buff, and thus the item doesn't rate very well. Secondly, I'm only looking at items that are naturally acquirable and do something. No items that serve as counters or only apply because of other items. Finally, I'm going to try to keep each entry brief because there are 175 fucking items that fit the category description. With that all said, let's get right into it, starting with the worst, most detrimental item in the game. I'm sure everyone's got their bets. Is it Corpse Bloom? Is it Stone Flux Pauldron? Is it Squid Polyp? Well, I'm proud to say that every single one of you is wrong, because the worst item in the game is... Fuel-Ray! I don't have much else to say, it's pretty much inarguably the worst item. It's the only item that provides absolutely no benefit, whilst also making you die easier and taking up an equipment slot. What's better than completely detrimental? Mostly detrimental. It's Corpse Bloom. Doubles your healing at the low cost of making healing shit. What a steal! Next is the Effigy of Grief. Takes up the equipment slot to do not a lot, and it hurts you. Then the Essence of Heresy. Do you want to replace your special skill with something almost certainly worse that doesn't synergize with your kit? No? Too bad. The Stone Flux Pauldron. Just don't. The Light Flux Pauldron. The only people who really want this really suffer from the attack speed decrease. If you really want ability speed, you're probably better off going with Purity. Definitely better than Light Flux Pauldron, but arguably not worth making all chance items shit. Okay, I know what you're about to say. Reuben. Consumed Trophy Hunter's Tricorn doesn't do anything, but actually it does. It makes you say, ahoy. Spectral Circlet. 1 in 4,000 drop chance to waste an equipment slot. Slow enemies down and make them target you instead of allies. Her Biting Embrace. Nakana's Retort. I've got another good idea to stop the enemies healing. Just kill the Mending Elite. Speaking of, here's Reassurance. Give it to an equipment drone or don't bother. Shared Design. Scuff Transcendence, but you also don't get equipment. Ifrit's Distinction. A little bit of fire. I'll remind you that this is a 1 in 4,000 drop. I'm not stoked on it. Eccentric Vase is based on a Klein bottle, which is the only exception to the Haywood conjecture. So that's fun. Radar Scanner. It's not terrible, but it is somewhat outclassed by nature's radar scanners. Eyes. Blast Scanner. Good for cheesing band regen, otherwise kind of shit. Artifact Key. Does nothing. Beads of Fealty. Does almost nothing. Mercurial Rachis. Okay, so this one does do something, but you get no control over it, and it powers up enemies. Yay! Berserker's Pauldron. If you need it, you can't activate it. If you don't need it, you can. Hunter's Harpoon. Oh boy, I'm sure quick. For all of 5 steps. Oddly Shaped Opal. A lot of people like this one because it goes well with other defensive items, but I'm here to say no! It's boring! And I'd rather this item be any other, but I'd prefer it not to be Squid Polyp. This item fucking sucks. It's boring, it doesn't really do a lot most of the time, it doesn't synergize well, I hate it. War Banner! It's like Mercurial Rachis, but doesn't buff enemies, and you have some control over it. Not great, but it could be worse, I guess. Shuriken! I don't like the way they feel. I don't like that they proc bands. I don't like how they fuck with the playstyle. Also, why did they have to be shit on Railgunner? Rose Buckler. It's not necessarily that it's bad, it's just that I want more out of a green item. And it's bad. Roll of Pennies. You don't really want to get hit, and there's better ways of getting cash. Chrono Bauble. Literally only exists to stack Deathmark. And we're at our first red item. What do you think it's going to be? It's Item Scrap Red. Not only does it not do anything, but it has a secret downside no other scrap has. You're not going to find a red item printer. You just aren't. And our second worst red item is Ben's Raincoat. All it does is block debuffs, and it can't even do that well. And our first yellow, Queen's Gland. Oh, but Ruben, it draws aggro. Yeah, and you know what else draws aggro? A regular drone you can get at the dollar store for $3.99. Aegis. Situationally very good. Unfortunately, that situation almost never comes up. Titanic Knurl. Doesn't provide enough health or regen to be helpful. Bungus. An incredibly situational regen item, by which I mean an engineer-only regen item. But it is absolutely busted on engineer, and I like it. Old War Stealth Kit. Has probably saved me once, although I can't remember it doing so. Still gets fucked by dots. Bottled Chaos. Fun, but not good. Power Elixir. Having 1 or 2 to save you is nice, but it's not an item I'd ever want. Brainstalks. Could probably do with a better indicator for activation. Also, most characters that benefit from this have long animations, making the effect shit. Silence Between Two Strikes. The last and best of the elite items. Basically plus 50% damage, but it still takes up an equipment slot. Leeching Seed. It's alright for hitting fast survivors, but the healing is pathetic on anyone else. Planula. Oh boy, the 15 health I just regenerated will definitely help me live through the 2,000 damage I took to take it. Volcanic Egg. It would make the worst omelette. Sticky Bomb. The enemy is often dead by the time it activates. Otherwise it's alright. Eulogy 0. Can get you a lot of good lunar items. Can also get you a lot of shit lunar items. Gore's Tome. Yay. Money. Bandolier. Would be better if I didn't have to bum rush the enemies to get it. Also scales terribly. Dakana's opinion? Like Aegis, it can be extremely good, but it's very rarely good. Primordial Cube. Phenomenal on Artificer. Also good on others, but that's more because of other items. Item Scrap Yellow. Better than Queen's Gland and Titanic Knurl, because at least on the off chance that I do find a yellow printer, I'm not risking my actually good yellow items. Defense Nucleus. It's fine. Warhorn. Decent effect but doesn't stack well, and I'd rather get other items. Personal Shield Generator. Bad unless you've got loads of them. Decent for keeping up shields for shrimp missiles. Focused Convergence. Makes teleporters faster. Alright. Gnarled Wood Sprite. Good for keeping up Warhorn. Decent healing, better items exist. Red Whip. Good speed, other speed items are better. Halcyon Seeds. Not great, but it is free. Cautious Slug. It's a little bit of healing. I won't turn it down. Molotov. Incredible with Ignition Tank. Average on its own. Genesis Loop. It's good with Stealth Kit and on Engineer. Otherwise, not great. Visions of Heresy. Good for survivors with shit M1s, but not great. Bison Steak. Provides a piddling amount of health, and you either want lots of health or very little health. Happiest Mask. It can kill you. Lepton Daisy. I know a lot of people don't think it's great, but the absolute joy I feel when a healing Nova is triggered every half second is priceless. Newly hatched Zoea? It's alright, but hard to acquire and corrupts good items. Mocha. Half as effective as a syringe, and less effective than speed items. Personally, I'd rather not. Razor Wire. Kind of underwhelming, unless you use Hellfire Tincture or other cheats. Prion Accumulator. It's alright, but it falls off. Jade Elephant. Take less damage for 5 seconds. Gesture of the Drowned. Can be very good for permanent active item uptime. Otherwise, bit shit. Glowing Meteorite. At least they're fun to dodge. Wax Quail. I'm sorry, Tyler. H3AD-5T-V2. It can be absolutely devastating and is amazing on loader, but it makes you jump just a little bit higher. Disgusting. Transcendence. It's usually pretty good, but it completely fucks healing. Brittle Crown. More money. Yay. Hooks of Heresy. Replace your skill. At least this time it's good. Goobo Jr. From name alone, this one has been placed. Determine from that what you will. Item Scrap Green. Better than other green items so far because it protects the actually good items from being printed. Pearl. Scrap your bad lunar items and get a free buff. The Backup. Great for the guy known as Captain of the Football Team and El Capitan of the Football Team. Otherwise it's okay. Wake of Vultures. Better than any of the elite aspects, and it doesn't even have a 1 in 4,000 drop chance. Defiant Gouge. More money and XP. Spinel Tonic. It's like vodka. Perks you up in the short term and then you wake up in the next zone with a massive hangover swearing you'll never drink again. But you know it's irresistible. Bundle of Fireworks. Squid Polyp, but better. Delicate Watch. A damage increase. That destroys itself when you get hurt. Milky Chrysalis. We all float down here, Georgie. Unfortunately, floating isn't inherently good. Stun Grenade. It's not a 5% chance, even with only 1. But stunning is good on high attack speed characters. Little Disciple. Nice to supplement a build, but nothing special. The Crowdfunder. One of the few items that's bad at the start and gets better over time. Insert Ultra Kill reference here. Repulsion Armor Plate. Really good early game. Falls off a lot, but can be quite good if you get a lot of them. Hopoo Feather. Archetypical double jump. Who doesn't like it? Medkit. Getting a % heal after you get hit is great, but the delay isn't. Interstellar Desk Climb. Fungus on the go. Mired Urn. Great for melee characters. Average for other characters. Supermassive Leech. Lifesteal on command. Good enough. Alien Head. Just very good, but I always feel like it's a little underwhelming. But I mean, who doesn't want some alien head? Egocentrism. Yeah, it eats all of your items, but at least it's flashy. Item Scrap White. Protects other white items from printers. Strides of Heresy. Better than the other Heresy items if just because the utility skill is normally the most replaceable. Tentabauble. There's an obvious joke that I'm trying very hard not to make. Anyway, root is better than slow, that's all. Shipping Request Forum. More items is more good. Empathy Cause. Gets extremely good the more drones you have. Disposable Missile Launcher. Just good damage. Gets extremely good with Pocket ICBM. Lost Seer's Lenses. Very good, at the expense of no crit glasses. Also, you can't one-shot a boss. Tragic. Rusted Key. Get a green or red item for a white one. These things are usually harder to come by. Resonance Disc. Violence begets violence. Tougher Times. Disconnect your modem and dodge a hit. Nice, and useful. Void Scent Flame. Racks up some major damage, but not great in multiplayer. Personally, I'm more a fan of the uncorrupted version. Foreign Fruit. Heal. Gorag's Opus. Berserker's Pauldron, but it actually activates, and affects all allies. Sormarang. What is this, Super Meat Boy? Focus Crystal. Like the Delicate Watch, except instead of breaking, it's only good for close-range characters. Defensive Microbots. You can only get this item as the Captain, but I do like the Captain, and it supplements his shit mobility. Infusions. Get more health, but this time it's actually good. Hellfire Tincture.
If he should determine to do so, if he should gather to himself his spirit and his breath, all flesh would perish together, and man would return to dust.
Remote Caffeinator. Good healing, Works well with fireworks, and makes squid polyp viable. Works for me. Regenerating scrap. Get more green items back, and choose what they are, provided printers spawn. Soul-bound catalyst. What equipment cooldown? Charged perforator. Just a good chance-based item to stack on top of the others. Molten perforator. As above, but I think it does more damage? Harvester's Scythe. Amazing healing if you've got good crit, and can hit quickly. Can fall off a tad if you let your health bar get too big. Crowbar. I think this is technically the largest single item damage up in the game, provided average luck. Works great on the railgunner as well. Tri-tip dagger. Bleed is phenomenal for cutting through enemy health, but I think there's just a better bleed item. Monster Tooth. Just really good healing. Stacks well and is good when there's lots of enemies. ATG Missile Mark 1. Just a really good damage item. Adds a huge amount of damage to any build, although the unchangeable activation chance is a shame. Hard Light Afterburner. Can be one of the best or one of the worst items depending on the character. Honestly, could live with being weaker in green. Death Mark. Provides a huge damage up, assuming you can stack 4 debuffs on enemies. The only valid use for Chrono Bauble. Fuel Cell. Equipment gets better, not much else to say. Wungus. Bungus, but when you're moving. Arguably much better, even though the healing is weaker. Ocular HUD. Guaranteed crits for 8 seconds. There are other, better crit items though. Shaped Glass. Double damage, half health. I love it, but I don't actually know if it's good or not. Energy Drink. Run faster. Best when stacked with Paul's Goat Hoof. Move faster. Singularity Band. It's good because it's a band, but it's not as good as the other bands. Gasoline. Amazing AoE. Gets even better when paired with Ignition Tank. Make all burn way stronger. Unstable Tesla Coil. Every 10 seconds, for 10 seconds, kill things around you. Backup Magazine. Stack your M2 skill. Good on most characters. Dio's Best Friend. If you would have died, don't. Pluripotent Lava. If you would have died, don't. But also corrupt all your items. Lysate Cell. Get another stack of your special skill, and regenerate them faster. Trophy Hunter's Tricorn. Insta-kill one boss, and make it drop its yellow item. If well used, this can be fantastic. Frost Relic. Great damage in a huge AoE sustained by killing enemies. Irradiant Pearl. Like pearls, but increase all your stats. Just good. Ceremonial Dagger. Violence begets violence. Again. Needle Tick. Instead of a DOT, do one big hit. Laser Scope. Crits get crittier. Forgive me please. Trigger on kill effects constantly. On kill effects are good. Encrusted Key. Get more corrupted items. Corrupted items are good. Ukulele. Sometimes gives you chain lightning AoE. That's good. Sentient Meat Hook. Damaging enemies hooks and damages other enemies. Phenomenal for melee. Okay all round. Polyloot. Ukulele, but it hits one target multiple times, and boy does it hit them. Soldier's Syringe. Attack speed is just good. Shattering Justice. Carry around a giant hammer so that when you shoot an enemy with your gun, they take more damage. Makes sense to me. Executive Card. Get everything from a multi-shot, and get it cheaper. Rejuvenation Rack. Double healing. Double healing. All of the healing you have, double it. Double, like 2 times. Double. Double healing, it's doubled. Recycler. Watch as I use my alchemical powers to turn shit items into slightly less shit items. Most of the time. Topaz Brooch. Gain barrier when killing an enemy. If you've got good AoE, it's good. And it stacks well. Predatory Instincts. On crit, increase fire rate. Amazing, both because firing faster means more crits and thus more fire rate, but also because with good crit, this is just a better fire rate up than syringes. Old Guillotine. Give elite enemies the old Marie Antoinette treatment. Spare drone parts. Make drones, and also empathy cores, extremely powerful. Also, gain Colonel Droneman. Royal Capacitor. Does great damage, has a short cooldown, and procs on hit effects. And synergizes extremely well with equipment related items. Good show. Lens Maker's Glasses. Crit. Symbiotic Scorpion. Reduce the armor per hit. I prefer it more than the other one. Safer Spaces. Dodge one hit, guaranteed every 15 seconds. As you stack down, the cooldown decreases. Better than Tougher Times if just for the consistency. Shatter Spleen. Take a crit build. Add free bleed. Make enemies explode on death. Fantastic. Brilliant Behemoth. Essentially a 60% damage modifier that applies in an AoE. Well, when enemies die, they explode. This damages and potentially kills nearby enemies, who also explode. And it stacks well. Plasma Shrimp, the better version of missiles. Plasma Shrimp always sends weaker missiles, provided you have shields. And consistency is key. Pocket ICBM. Missiles are already good. Now make them gooder. 57 Leaf Clover. Make everything chance-based better. To be honest, I'm super partial to this item just because I like the math behind it. It's fun. Runald's Band. The weaker of the Lover's Bands, this one only makes you deal 250% extra damage every 10 seconds. God, isn't that terrible. Kjarov's Band. The best band. Not only does it do more damage than Runald, but it also does it in an area. And the final, the best item in the game. Benthic Bloom! This item is incredible, not because it's necessarily the strongest, but because it's strong and extremely fun. Every stage it upgrades 3 stacks of your items to the next tier, which leads you to have random and often quite decent items. It's absolutely unpredictable and absolutely fun. Anyway, that's all 175 items ranked. Obviously, this list is completely objective, and there is no way any logical person could ever disagree. But if you have a different opinion, you're more than welcome to express it down below. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your day. Goodbye.